Buenas noches, guten Abend, buonasera, bonsoir, and good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are most welcome to episode 2 in the line of many episodes, hopefully, God willing, of Eurostars. Hopefully you guys been impressed with my pronunciations. If I messed them up, please let me know in the chat and I will practice them and make sure they're perfected next week. If I've done well, also let me know. People, you're very welcome, of course. Eurostars are here. We're here to talk about all things European football, major leagues, Milan, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter. As you can see, what an amazing top that is, Mo. Mo, what is that? The training top? Is that the kit? What is that?
This is like a 2-year-old top that I got it from the store in Milan. It was just something that they made special.
Mo, you love this. Hold on.
That's a serious top.
When I went to Milan, I went to the San Siro. I got this. I forgot to show you.
You know what? I have the exact same one, the home jersey. The exact same one.
So nice.
It's
so
amazing.
nice.
Wow. I mean, they do some amazing kits. Adidas just knows kits, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just very quickly, Adidas or Nike kits, guys? Just a general
Nike and Inter now. Now it's Nike.
I was Adidas. I am more Nike now. With this. Actually, no, those Arsenal kits are clean, aren't they?
For me, Adidas kits, Nike boots, that's always been like
that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
I'm
always Adidas boots.
Yeah, I'm always been Adidas. Always. See, what you'll find, I think, the elder generation, and me and Mo won't be offended being called the elder generation. We all prefer Adidas. I think. I'm not sure. People let us know in the chat, Adidas or Nike. I think the younger generation will go for Nike. The older generation will go for Adidas. But anyway, we digress. There's always Adidas. There you go. Ahmed says, why don't we start with mentioning the 5 unbeaten teams in Europe?
There's only one game going, Ahmed. There's only one game.
He's getting excited.
No, he might be onto something. What does he mean by that, Ahmed?
Bayern. He means Bayern, Dortmund, Man City, Arsenal, and
Liverpool.
PSG.
Really?
No. He means the teams that have won the most. The 2 games. That's what he means.
2 games. That's only 2 leagues that play 2 games, right?
Yeah, this is shameless from him. Yeah,
okay. Fair enough. I didn't know he meant that. I thought he actually meant the 5 teams in Europe.
No. Ahmed, that's my guy. That's why I know. That's why I know what he means.
Oh, is he talking about that? Yeah.
Okay, the Dortmund fan. He's a Dortmund fan.
Okay. People, coming up to about 80 of you in here already. Only 3 minutes gone. We are a little bit late. So sorry. Apologies. Omar was fixing his camera. Bilal was fixing his headphones. Mo was just admiring his kit. Yeah, and we're waiting for Liaz, who's on his way. He won't be long. It should be a couple of minutes. Roundup of Europe's major leagues. Football season, Premier League is started. We know about that. Premier League gets spoken to death. We want to explore Europe, man. No more Brexit. Come on, let's get into Europe and explore. I guess for me, the most exciting league this season will be Serie A. So I think it's only fair we start with the Serie A results. If we get the Serie A results and then we can start tucking in, and then it's only fair we go to Mo first for his kind of assessment of the first week results. Can we get the results, please, of Serie A, Bilal, as opposed to just Inter? You messed up the first production. Thank you very much. And Omar's sleeping in the background, not doing anything. Anyway, but Mo, what are you saying? First week of Serie A, did the results go according to plan? According to you, any major shocks? Any major issues for the big boys, so to speak?
All the big teams won. I don't think that happened before, but the performances were very, very different. Like Inter did not play very well. They were held to 1-1 until the 94th minute and a corner, and they scored in the last minute of the injury time. Milan, a very comprehensive win, assisted by a penalty. Juventus They were in control against Sassuolo, who's not a bad team to play. But the most impressive one of them is always going to be Napoli, the Spalletti ball that he has. It's very, very comprehensive football, progressive, and he plays the very his own kind of football, which is like, let's just pass the ball and play very progressive and don't care about defense. This is why they concede a lot of goals, Napoli. But who cares? They lost Koulibaly and they lost Insigne. They still play the same exact football. And to be honest, the superstar of this league, this is gonna be Mourinho, who's always talking. You guys know him from the Premier League people. He's always talking. His team won away 1-0 against Salernitana, and it was just a very Mourinho performance. They just had a couple of chances, 3-4 chances. They scored one, and then they just defended against a team that don't even have any weapons. But the Serie A is going to be very, very interesting because it looks like big teams are there to win it. They're just not there to make top fours, and everybody just want to win it.
No, absolutely. Look, you've spoken about Napoli. I think it's only fair we speak about Napoli then, because, like you said, seems to be the most goals. I mean, how often more we speak about Serie A and no goals and lack of goals or whatever. So, look, talk us through this Napoli lineup, and if he's done anything different that you've noticed. We obviously straight away notice a very difficult name for me to pronounce. I'm not going to say
the young kid is named Kivica. Even the commentators, they actually they try to not pronounce that last name, or it's like Kvaratskhelia, and they still just go with the first name. The guy is a tall, 21 years old, left winger / forward. He scored the first goal and assisted another. Very impressive kid that comes into Serie A first game debut, and then bang, he's like hit the ground running. You don't see that often, right? You see, and he's replacing Insigne, one of the best players in Napoli history. It's not easy. It's not an easy job to do, but the guy comes in and he is really, really hit the ground running. The other thing is the Korean defender Kim. He came in. He played well as well, but they conceded 2. But he's coming from the Turkish league, Fenerbahce, and it's not going to be a bad lineup. But one of the things that people don't talk about is Lobotka, the guy in the middle. He is the better version of Jorginho.
Okay.
Just like that. He is the better version. Controls the game, but also contributes offensively. He scored a beauty side foot, curled the ball to the back of the net, like at the far post, after dribbling in the middle, and great touch. But also he can pass the ball. So this guy, he's going to be snatched pretty quick. He is so good on the ball.
We of course, first I like to shout out Michael Talks Football. Michael told us about Kivica. Remember the name? You know, he told us last week to look out for this guy, and wow, lo and behold, you know. I just want to quickly give my opinion. Victor Osimhen, for me, it's a mystery and a surprise. Why isn't he snapped up this summer when so many teams are looking for a striker, an out-and-out goal scorer, an absolute athlete? He had a horrendous eye socket injury last season, still came back and scored goals. This guy's a goal-scoring machine. For me, he's a clone of Didier Drogba. So powerful, so strong. Left foot, right foot, header. Not the most amazing technically, but my God, he's an absolute...
So quick, huh?
He's so powerful, so quick. Zielinski, Liverpool were linked with him so many times. We liked him. We liked his profile. One of the best underrated 8s out there. And Anguissa, who was at Fulham. So, you know, it's not a team full of household names. And as Mo said, getting rid of Insigne as well. You know, of course, Koulibaly. Holmes, you mentioned the centre back, didn't you? Because he comes from your motherland, Turkey. He came from Fenerbahce. Any insight onto him?
You're on mute.
Mute. Probably for best that you're on mute.
Yeah, the fatherland actually.
I beg your pardon.
He's it's for him the biggest thing is the culture shock coming from Turkey to Italy. I think there's a lot of potential in him, and the fact that he is sort of looking like the Koulibaly replacement in a way. There will be a lot of expectation on him, but quite frankly, the Turkish league is not anywhere near up there in terms of intensity, in terms of quality. So it is early days. I love to see how he does and how he settles in. But there is potential there, so we'll see. But it's a massive step up. It is a massive step up, and there is a lot of sort of pressure applied to him. So we're we're 1 week in. It's hard to tell, but if it goes well, then yeah, that's a little coup there for Napoli.
Any thoughts, Bilal, before we move on to
Yeah, just want to echo most
beloved
point.
Inter?
Yeah, just want to echo most point on Lobotka. For me, see that goal there, side foot. That's one of the most satisfying goals you can see. I love them type of finishes. For me, obviously, you guys know I'm an Arsenal fan. So Smith Rowe, for example, when he scores, most of the time it's those kind of pass goals into the back of the net. I absolutely love it. And yeah, in terms of Osimhen, I'm not as convinced as you are, Grizz, to be honest, on him. Technically, sometimes I feel like hold up. It's good, but I feel like if he went to the Premier League and the price tag they're putting on him, maybe it will be a bit too much for him. But no doubt he's got raw talent there, and there's definitely a player to work with. And yeah, the Georgian player, I can't say his name. I'm not going to even attempt to say it. KK looks very good, strong, tall, powerful. And Zelinski and Guisa. It's a good team. The fullbacks are decent as well. Not the bigger fan of Mario Rui, to be honest, but Di Lorenzo is decent. New centre back, decent goalkeeper. Yeah, Napoli, again, are going to be one of those teams that can definitely do something in Serie A.
Joseph tells us Napoli about to add Raspadori too. Mo, any thoughts before we turn on to Inter?
He's a good forward. He's gonna adapt, and I think he can actually start for them. He's a pretty good player. And
what kind of player is
Italian. He's a short, quick forward.
Okay.
Was he not linked with Juve as well?
He was linked to Juve and Inter, but nobody took him because I think he doesn't fit the profile of these big clubs. But we'll see how it is,
Yeah.
El Drago says Osimhen too expensive. They spent 70 million on him. You know how mad the president is. Yeah, he's pretty mad, but I don't think they would refuse 70, 80 million right now in the current climate and everything. Let's get to Inter Milan. I guess it's only fair we get to Inter Milan. Mo, an amazing last-second victory. Obviously, Lukaku, it was written in the stars. When he first made his debut for Inter, he scored against Lecce. His second debut, you could say, scores against Lecce after 90 seconds. My God, it was a struggle in the end, though, right?
Yeah. I was like, I did a watch along, and I almost lost. I almost got a heart attack, to be honest, at the end when he scored. To be honest, but it's as simple as that. The squad is one of the best squads in Europe. The problem is we added some new players, and they didn't play. Like Lukaku never played with one of the midfielders, which is Hakan Çalhanoğlu. He never played with Gosens on the left, and we switched a little bit. Bastoni was on the bench, which was supposed to be Bastoni is a superstar, the defender that everybody's looking.
What's the reason for that? What was the reason for that, Bastoni?
So our coach Inzaghi is a very attacking coach. So he played a left back as a left center back, played a left wing back as a left center back just to add an offensive weapon, and it worked because he is the one who initiated the cross for the first goal. That DeMarco guy is an Italian. He was an Inter youth player. But to be honest, I keep saying this: if this Inter team stay healthy, they can actually go far in Europe, because we just added Lukaku, and basically we lost Perisic and replaced him with, on paper, one of the best left wing backs in the world in the last 3-4 years, which is Gosens, who starts for the German national team. Maybe he was unlucky with injuries, but if this guy gets in form, there is no stopping him. He contributes a lot. So that Inter team is the strongest in the league. One of the we have Skriniar, we have De Vrij, we have even Brozovic. So it's a very, very strong squad. It's the only thing is that you need to stay healthy. Of course, there's a lot of games, as all the big teams that play in multiple competitions. But it is what it is. I think it was just the start. I think this team it's just gonna get better. It's just gonna get better for them.
So look, we have to have a word about Obviously, we've spoken about Lukaku, of course, scoring in his debut. Welcome, Lias. Thank you very much, sir, for turning up. We appreciate you.
Bonsoir, bonjour, bon matin. How's the show open up? That's how you guys do it, right?
Yeah, I done it. I smashed the accents. Honestly, you can't do better. I'm telling you, you can't do better than me. I smashed the accents.
Grizz stuttered about
French,
20
that's my
times in
second
between
language,
each
bro.
one.
Come on.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, what it is, I asked Omar to WhatsApp me how to say them. My God, his spellings made life even more difficult for me. But
It's always me. I'm scapegoat. I'm your Jordan Henderson, mate.
These days, I don't know if that's the best thing.
No, there isn't. Mo, we spoke about Lukaku, obviously, and then we spoke about sort of Goossens coming in, being the replacement for Perisic, but Goossens very highly thought of, one of the most highly thought of attacking fullbacks in Europe. Another one who's been spoken about, possibly a move away during the off-season, whatever, turns up in the 94th minute, it was, or something. Talk to me. Dumfries.
Denzel Dumfries is just the starting wing back for the Dutch team, for the Netherlands team. He's very good. He's quick, physical, strong. Not the best on the ball, but last season he had 5 assists and 5 goals for a wing back. That's not bad at all.
That's insane.
It's not bad at all. So for me, he's a very good player. Inter bought him for 50 million and his price now is 40 or something. So that's a good investment. That's a very good investment. If this guy is, and of course they're waiting for the World Cup, and they chose not to sell him, waiting for the World Cup, assuming that the value is only going to go up if they are to sell him.
Fair enough. Lias, did you manage to catch any of so far we've spoken about Napoli's impressive win at home. Was it away?
Away.
No,
away from home.
Yeah, away. And we're just touching upon the Inter scrappy win, but game week 1's all about 3 points. It's not about looking good per se. It's about getting 3 points, and especially away from home, right?
I think for me, Serie A, right? I don't know how much you guys have talked about this. I think it's one of the most intriguing leagues this year.
That's exactly what I opened up with. Absolutely. That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
I just look, right? The era of Juventus winning 10 Serie A's in a row is over. You no longer have that Napoli team who are really threatening with 94 points, 93 points here and there. Milan and Inter are both very strong in their own regards. Juventus, they have potential. I really like the squad they've built, but there's a lot of ifs with there. And I know my friend here is an Inter fan. Me, myself, if I had to pick an Italian team, Inter is my team. And I think the signing of Romelu Lukaku, it's a huge one. He has his first goal in 2 minutes this weekend? First 2 minutes of the game, he scores. Yeah, look, Inter for me will be up there. They'll be up there as usual. Milan did not strengthen incredibly well from where they were last year. So Inter, I think, have to be confident that they can bring the Serie A back to their. I mean, they both play in the what's it called, the San Siro, but bring it back to the black and blue side.
Let's go to AC Milan then. Brilliant segue into the AC Milan game. Mo, I know you through gritted teeth. You may have been watching the AC Milan game, but I know the connoisseur that you are. You had to keep an eye on the AC Milan game. What did you make of Milan on opening day?
And this guy, Pioli, their coach, is making wonders with the squad. Reminds me of Ranieri with the Leicester squad when they won the league. It's just, of course, I'm not comparing that Leicester squad, but that Leicester squad was made by Ranieri. Most of these players were not known before that. Most of these players that played for Leicester, someone like Junior Messias, who hasn't played professional until 3 years ago, won the league last year. It's as simple as that. Ante Rebic, someone who most of the fans said he wanted him out of the club, scored 2 in the opening days, right? Brahim Diaz from City to Real Madrid, and then now he's the starting number 10 for Milan. A lot of players there in the midfield, Benton, Krunic, Ben Nasser. What's that?
Talk to me about my boy Ben Nasser.
Ben Nasser, man, it's like he keeps getting better somehow.
I want to ask about Ismail Bennacer. So Liverpool, as you guys know, is my club, and we've been tentatively, I must add, linked with this guy, especially because of the contract situation at AC Milan. Either one of you can speak on him. Tell us what kind of player he is, and if any insight into his contract situation and if he's likely to be moved away, because he's one of those guys that he's not extravagant, but he's so efficient. His
For
game.
me, yeah, Benacer is a jewel for me, and I'm biased, right, because he's my countryman. But Benacer is exceptional for me. The contract thing I really can't speak on. I think he has a buyout clause. You can probably speak more on that, Mo. But I think he does have a buyout clause that's relatively affordable. However, when I think of Liverpool, I don't know if he's the exact player I would be going for, because I compare Benacer more to a Marco Verratti or a Thiago in terms of he does his best work kind of as deeper in the double pivot where Thiago would operate, or really he plays just like Verratti for me. I think Liverpool perhaps need more of like a dynamic 8 on that right-hand side. You could probably speak on that more than me, but I would
Tonali,
look at
Barella. They need a Tonali.
Yeah, Barella for me is exactly
Barella's the one.
Yeah, Benacer is what United are really crying out for, if you ask me.
Yes, exactly. Someone can tackle, play the ball from the back, but also has technicalities. But basically, you have Fabinho and Thiago. It's like there's no point of adding Benacer to your club. You really need a number 8. But anyway, that's for another day.
Grizz, Algeria, when they won the AFCON, right? Mahrez got all of the plaudits. The player of the tournament at AFCON who won the award was Benacer. He was the most important player for Algeria.
Amazing. So our scouts don't miss them. We're targeting all the right players.
Come on, Michael Edwards is a supercomputer. It never misses.
Amazing. Mo, you mentioned Ante Rebic, injury plagued. This guy, for me, look, he didn't start off as a striker. He started off as a wide man, a powerful runner, powerful type player. But he seems to be reinvented as a number 9, Mo. Is that right?
He's the forward.
Of course, one of the most sought after wingers in Europe for me, and rightly so. Rafael Leao, again, someone who's been in the category of Vinicius Jr. in terms of the most improved wingers out there. I think Rafael Leao gets into a lot of teams around Europe. Rebic could be set for an amazing season if the injuries stay away, right?
Yeah, Rebic, but the guy to look for in Serie A, the whole Serie A, is Rafael Leao with the World Cup. There's no stopping this. You don't find a lot of tall wingers that are so skillful, but also have the finishing touch like this. He's just phenomenal. And he's young though. This guy has he's so good that he can play in any team in the world. And I'm saying it's any team in the world. This guy has everything.
Yeah,
I think he's spot on.
Bilal, massive fan as well.
Yeah, Rafael Leao, unbelievable player. I was thinking Man City were going to end up coming in for him this season after selling Jesus and Sterling. For me, unbelievable player. I remember last season, I think it was a game Theo Hernandez, or it might have been a different game. Theo Hernandez runs up the whole pitch and then scores. This is when Milan are on that, they're about to win the league and stuff. And Leao, every single game, he's just doing something special. He's always dangerous. I'm seeing him now coming from the right. He's coming onto his left foot as well. He's a whole package. He's only 22, 23, is part of the whole Lille thing with Osimhen. Obviously, Nicolas Pepe ended up coming to Arsenal, didn't work out, but you can see the influence that he has in his game. He's so direct, so powerful, and I really like him. I want to also talk about Benacer as well. I'm not sure if he's homegrown, like if a Premier League team signed him, because he was at Arsenal as a youth.
Yeah. So
I'm not too sure if he has that homegrown thing going on as well. So that could be good. Rebic as well is another player, powerful. His celebration as well, it was moving me. I'm not gonna lie when he was scoring. So yeah, Rebic. Listen, their team on paper isn't as strong as Inter or Juve, but they're just getting the job done. And when they get the likes of Tonali coming back as well into the team fully, serious.
I think Mo said it well, right? Pioli is really the X factor here. What he's done for this AC Milan team. I look at a guy like Rafael Leao, right? We're talking about him in glowing terms right now. I completely agree with Bilal. Manchester City, I thought, would have been a great destination for him. Perhaps even a Real Madrid on that right-hand side. He's capable of playing on either wing. This was a guy, though, 2 years ago. I remember Milan fans were talking about him like, is he really good enough? Is he really consistent enough? Is this going to be another Pato situation where he kind of just fizzles out? You're looking at him now as one of the top talents in Europe, and I think Pioli deserves so much credit for what he's done to this Milan team. I completely agree, Mo.
Omar, one of us standout again, another standout wing back, full back, call him what you want, just seems to have one of the, has the sweetest left foot in the game right now or for a little while. Theo Hernandez, he's just coming on leaps and bounds, isn't he? He's up there with some of the best fullbacks in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it stands out, especially, you know, as a Liverpool fan. Andy Robertson has a shot of a, like, just, it does not hit the middle of his foot. So his output is incredible, to be honest. I know he's on set pieces and stuff, but like, I'm looking at that lineup right now, that left-hand side, one of the most lethal left-hand sides in Europe. I think it's fair to say. So yeah, I wanted to actually ask Mo, like, obviously Frank Kessié has gone to Barca. How big of a miss? Like, does that tip the balance of the league into Inter's hands? Because when I see him out that Milan team, I basically say this is Inter's league to lose now. But I'd love to hear how he feels as an Inter fan.
Actually, they didn't care as much because Sandro Tonali suddenly became a player. Suddenly, like out of nowhere, the guy last year became a monster in the midfield that you can't shift. That even Ben Nasser and Kessié used to sub for each other, and this guy doesn't sub out. So this is why they were like, you know what, you want to leave, okay, and you wanted 8 million, go ahead, see somebody else to pay you that. We have Tonali now. Tonali, if you watch this guy Tonali, he's a mix of Gattuso and Barella. It's kind of strange how a player in 1 year can suddenly get like to that output.
Mo, do you remember when he first kind of burst on the scene? There was the natural like Pirlo comparisons, right? Because he came from Empoli, was it?
Yeah, because of the look.
I think it was Brescia. I think it was Brescia.
Brescia,
because that's where it was. Because Pirlo started his career off there, and he made the move to Milan. Everyone's comparing. I agree. I think it was because of the look, but I agree with you. Gattuso is De Rossi. De Rossi is almost the exact player I think of, that pit bull. But he's so talented. He's so talented.
We have to. Sorry,
go ahead to Juventus now, right?
We have to go to the old lady. Look, rain, shine, you know, all the corruption accusations of the past, everything. It's slowly coming back. None of us really tipped them for the title. Obviously, Liège wasn't on last week, but I don't think you would have tipped them as well, Liège, if you would be on. Right, exactly. So no one tipped Juve. I'll start with you, Omar. At the end of the day, they got a comfortable win against a Sassuolo team that's not a walk in the park. A 3-0 victory, Vlahovic and the debut of Di Maria. What did you think?
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that. I know they're called the old lady, but they're the old lady, and to me, the way I've seen them is they're the old lady full of a team of old men. I mean, you just think about the likes of Chiellini, Buffon, Bonucci, back a few years back, Pirlo, just a very experienced but very quality team. I feel like there's a bit of a transition going on here, which has to happen, seeing as they've lost out in the league for 2 years in a row now. But look, 3-0 at home to Sassuolo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Sassuolo have had their number at the Allianz for 4 years.
Not only, even in this game, Omer, you know, they were outplayed in every stat, everything, shots, position, cross, everything, every stat. It didn't matter. This is Juventus, which is in Italy. They have this say, you can never count them out. It doesn't matter how they play; they always find a way to win.
Yeah. What I will say is Vlahovic, I think, will be a big problem for that league. He's someone who knows the league. He's had half a year now to sort of settle in. Probably didn't carry on the form he had at Fiorentina fully, but bloody hell, I think he's going to score plenty of goals. I know we were speaking off screen about Di Maria and how he has an abductor injury, but I think depending how long that keeps him out for, I think he's going to be a massive player for them. He's one of those guys that's almost timeless. And he sort of times his moves, except for the United move, the timing of going from Real Madrid and then ending up at PSG and sort of having a big say there. It feels like he could be a big part to this Juventus team, a bit how Carlos Tevez was a sort of big part at his sort of more mature age and coming into Juventus. So I don't know what his injury situation is now. I don't know if it's like fully confirmed.
He's not coming back soon. That's a big problem.
Yeah. So
it's a massive thing, man.
That is a big problem. It's hard because Juventus, you think they're a team that will always squeeze out results, like even like 3-0, even though they got outplayed. They're a team that know how to win, and that's an attribute. That's a sort of very intangible attribute that's vital in football. So I honestly couldn't put an estimation on where I think they're going to end up. They need to keep key players fit, and it doesn't look like a good start with Di Maria. But if they have a rhythm going, I can see them being extremely difficult to beat.
Mo,
I know what? I just got one thing, Grizz. You know what? In Italian newspaper, they say Juventus, if they don't win the title, it's a failure just because of the signings they made. Just because of this summer, they added the best center back in the league last year. They added Pogba back. They added Di Maria. It doesn't matter if they're aging, right? And now the Chiesa's fully coming back from injury. The thing about it is that they say you have to win the league now. Allegri, you won the league how many times before? With Milan, he won. With Juventus, he won. So he should have the experience to win it. And they gave him the team. Kostic now, they added one of the best left wing backs. So for everybody, they had the best summer. There's nobody had a summer like this in Italy. Inter only added Lukaku and some young players. And even Gosses was from last year. Milan, as Leah said, didn't add anything. So it's Juventus, on paper, they should win the league.
But this is it. on paper, Bilal, they like Mo's mentioned some big names there. But on the pitch, only one of them has started. Okay, two with Bremer as well. And B, now we find out Di Maria's injured as well. Pogba's out as well. I'm gonna say it's. I don't think it looks good. I know Vlahovic, yes, he's a potent goal scorer, everything, but he needs service. He's a player that requires service. I don't see, apart from Cuadrado, I don't know where that service is going to come from. And if you guys can give me some insight where potentially he's going to get service.
Kostic, the only guy is Kostic.
Labiel. It's going to have to be Pogba, man. Honestly, we're talking about creativity. This is what they brought the guy in for. And this is why, for me, there's so many ifs about Juve, man. I think, if anything, Juve's biggest wild card is the signings that they didn't make this summer, but the signings they've made in the past few seasons. What does Chiesa look like when he comes back? Vlahovic, what does he look like alongside Chiesa? Because this is now his
so many questions. So many questions. That's what I mean. So much uncertainty.
Locatelli, I think, is a great midfielder, but I don't think we saw the best of him last season. How does he look alongside Zakaria and Pogba? There's a lot of questions about Juve, and I agree on paper that 11, I think, clears Milan in terms of individual quality, in terms of star names. I think it beats Milan. I think even with Inter, you could make the argument for them too. And here's the thing about Allegri, right? I used to really like Allegri, but I think his second stint, it doesn't resonate with me, man. It doesn't resonate with me. It seems like he's almost lost something since the first stint.
I know Mo is a massive fan of Allegri. I'm joking.
I used to be a huge fan of Allegri. I don't know if you were being sarcastic.
I never hated Allegri because I think I'm a very pragmatic person in football. And I thought he's one of the most pragmatic coaches I've seen in my life. He just gets the result. And I like that. I just respect it. Even if I don't like him because he coaches Juventus, I have to respect the guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's.
But I almost feel now, Mo. Sorry to interrupt. I almost feel now he's a little more cowardly. I feel like before he was definitely pragmatic. I agree completely. No one is more pragmatic than Allegri. But these days, I feel like he plays scared. It's not pragmatism anymore. It's like he plays on the back foot so much.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's gonna, he's getting paid the highest by a big margin in Italy, right? By a big margin.
Exactly. Look, I think as we said in the opening chat, Serie A is going to be the most fantastic, the most intriguing. No clear-cut favorites, even though we've discussed Inter, possibly slight favorites, but
never write out Jose.
Absolutely. We didn't even get a chance to speak on Roma. I think because time is of an essence, and we've got to touch on La Liga next. Again, last week we spoke. And you guys were very positive about Barcelona, and only Grizz was saying, I'm telling you, Barcelona not going to be, you lot writing off Real Madrid at your peril. Probably the standout, the shock result: Barcelona 0, Rayo Vallecano 0. Who wants to touch upon that game? Can we get a lineup from Barcelona, Rayo Vallecano, and then let's look into it, because without doubt that's a shock result, right, Bilal?
And they played the strongest lineup they have. It's very this is a strong. There's no stronger players.
Well, it was really weird. It was really weird watching.
We'll speak on that because I disagree on one player.
Honestly, Xavi in this game, like Araujo, number one at right back. I don't know what's going on there. For me, there's this thing. I think it was becoming a running theme now with Man City, with Arsenal, with Bayern. When I was watching them as well, it's obsession now with having like inverted fullbacks coming in, even turning centre backs into fullbacks. And Xavi is going down this path again. Araujo, for a lot of the game, he was hugging the touchline, but whenever Barcelona were going to attack, he'd tuck inside, probably to stop a counter attack, probably to try and win the ball back up the pitch. But a lot of the time they're getting exposed. Either way, Rayo Vallecano are getting chances in behind. Araujo as well. For me, I rate him, but he's very rash, it seems, at times. Sometimes sliding in when maybe doesn't need to. Christensen, Eric Garcia as your two centre backs, for me, asking for trouble. I know it's La Liga, maybe it's not as physical, we know, but it's not a centre back pairing I would go for. I would rather have Araujo in the middle, and then you could just throw Eric Garcia at right back. I don't trust him at centre back, so I'd rather put him at right back, in my opinion. The attack, Ousmane Dembele, again, in pre-season, the guy was sourcing left foot, right foot, cutting in, cutting out, shoot. Everything was perfect. In this game, he gets a few chances. The power's not there in the shot. Rafinha as well, frustrating night for him. Dembele's going to the right wing. Aubameyang ends up coming on later on. Ansu Fati, Lewandowski, they're all going for it. Sergio Busquets ends up getting this, just a red card that just says to me, listen, MLS, mate. Yeah, please.
He has to retire, right? He has to retire or leave that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's time to go.
Don't disrespect Busquets like that.
Listen, we all love Busquets. We love these guys.
No, we don't. I don't.
You don't. Do you? You definitely don't, Bo. What was he did?
Yes. Yeah. I don't. So no.
Let's not disrespect the greatest six of our generation.
Yeah. Let me say, for me, there's one player. We were saying it's a perfect lineup. I don't think so. And I might be biased here because I support United. Frankie de Jong, I don't care what you talk about his fortunes at Barcelona before the season, belongs in Barcelona's strongest 11. I think they're 100%. Overthinking this massively. I understand why they want to sell him, because he's their most valuable asset and they dream of Bernardo Silva. I completely get that. And I really like Gavi, but Gavi at this stage in his career is not a better player than Frankie de Jong. And I really don't believe.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I don't think at this moment he makes Barcelona better than Frankie. Gavi is a terrific talent, not questioning that, but he's extremely rash. He's extremely hot-headed, very talented, but he is not as good as Frankie de Jong is at this moment. And I think once this transfer window ends and Frankie de Jong ends up staying at Barcelona, which I think will happen, you'll see him more and more in the lineup. I think they've been forcing him out because of financial reasons. But Xavi, I think, will be able to find a spot in his 11 for him.
Let me ask you something, guys. Let me ask you something, Leas. Do you think Xavi really will turn this Barcelona team into a machine like Pep? Like
no, not like Pep, man. Pep is one of one.
He's got everything there, though. That's a very... I still have question marks about the defense, especially in the middle. The midfield and front line, the depth, he has all the tools. And it's not like he's just got a specific profile of players. That forward line, you look at the bench, you've got Aubameyang, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati. Those are three quality players that on their day can really make a difference.
Can I come in there, guys? Can I come in there? I disagree completely. I don't think I think he's got the names of players and profile of players, like we know them, but I think every player that we spoke about is at one spectrum of their career, either coming to the end or coming to the start of his career. They haven't got any players at the peak of their careers. And Barcelona, when they were successful, always had the best Xavi, the best Iniesta, the best Messi, the best Neymar. All those players were the Piqué, the Mascherano, were the peak of their careers. I don't think any of those players are at the peak of their careers, in the midst of their careers. We've just spoken about Busquets. What's his name?
Garcia, Cristiano, these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's why I didn't tip them for the title, guys, last week. I know you guys got
I would have
London
stuck with Real, Grizz. I would have stuck with Real Madrid. To be
You're
honest.
saying that now. We don't know. Have you got any
I swear,
receipts?
Benzema
Any
is my
receipts?
guy, man.
We got sucked in. We got sucked into the
Have we
juice. I'm
got
not gonna
any
lie.
receipts?
I got sucked in.
These guys were like Barca. I said no. You lot, I'm telling you, Barca are going to struggle. But look, at the end of the day, it's early days. You know, not the best start for Barcelona, but you know, we know a draw's not too bad. Liverpool, we know a draw's not too bad. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Of course, the other favourites or co-favourites or however you want to look at Real Madrid got off to again a tricky start. Omar, you were saying that you really enjoyed this game. You watched this game, a tricky start, but
I watched the Barcelona game, not the Real Madrid game.
I watched the Real Madrid game.
That's it. That's it. Me and Leah's watched the Real Madrid.
Talk to me about Camavinga and Tchouaméni's start. I think it's the first start for them both together in La Liga, right?
Well, Leah's, if we go to the lineup straight away, right? I mean, again, a shock straight away where he gave a couple of debuts. Not many people anticipated that. Was you one of them that did anticipate that?
I thought it was a weird Real Madrid lineup to begin with. To play Vasquez on the right, to play Nacho, to give a debut to Tchouaméni, Camavinga.
Yeah.
But to be fair as well, these guys, a lot of their first team did play midweek against Frankfurt. So maybe you can understand a bit. And it was Almeria, right? Like it's not the toughest game of all time. But listen, I picked Real Madrid for one reason. And I would not pick Real Madrid if one thing happened. Benzema and Vinicius are the best duo in world football. Benzema is the best player in the world. Vinicius, I don't know like what his ceiling is, to be honest with you. The guy looks better than he does last year already. He didn't score any goal, but he had a huge part to play in the first one. He's incredible. The only way Barcelona win La Liga this year for me is if one of them goes down injured, because Real Madrid are so dependent on both of them to score and create their goals. But this was a really tough game for Real Madrid. They started off really poorly. Mm-hmm. I actually think the introduction of Eden Hazard really, really changed the game for Real Madrid. He's kind of been playing this is a false 9 role, a number 10 role, more centrally than he's ever played in his career, because I actually think he's lost a lot of the burst that allowed him to evade players in his peak. You remember peak Eden Hazard. He doesn't have that explosiveness to get by players anymore.
Is he done, Lias?
Is Hazard done?
Yeah.
At the elite level, I would say yes, but he can still contribute in moments like this weekend where, for me, again, coming in, changed the game for Real Madrid. He's no longer an elite player, but he is an elite talent. And elite talents can always win you a game with one moment of magic. And I believe Eden Hazard can still provide you those moments once in a while.
Yeah, I agree. Look, Hazard has been one of my favorite. I mean, everyone knows what I think of Chelsea, but Hazard was one of my favorite players of the Premier League era. I just love watching the guy. One of the most terrifying from a Liverpool point of view. That's a ridiculous ratio, by the way.
That's horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a horrendous ratio.
Guys, underneath the live chat, this like button is free. Underneath the live chat. If you have the live chat on your phone, close it, hit the like button, and come back again and talk to us in the chat. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny.
No, but there's constantly 250 of you in here, which means that either you're so weird that you're watching us without enjoying it. Why would you watch us if you're not enjoying it?
You're too immersed in what I'm saying, man. That's what it is.
That's true as well.
Yeah,
but come on, man. Look at the panel. Look at the
200 likes. Come on.
Instant knowledge. Yeah, man. Hit that like button. But I mean, Mo, I've always got questions about. I wanted to see how Rudiger's gonna play in a back four, especially in a new system and a new team. By all accounts, it wasn't his best game. It wasn't his best game, but it was kind of to be expected. Again, like Leah says, obviously they had the Super Cup in midweek, so therefore they went for a pre-changed lineup. but it's going to be a settling in process for the likes of Rudiger, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm not sure why are we talking. Someone who's coming from a back three who actually flourished in a back three, because Rudiger before Tuchel. People were talking about him leaving Chelsea. People were talking about him.
Tuchel saved his career. Let's be real.
People were talking about, let's get this guy out of the club. And then Thomas Tuchel came, back three, which is nothing called Tuchel tax or back three tax. Some players are really good in a back three because they can carry the ball forward. They can do the job. It's not something that it's not a shame to a player to be good or better in a back three or a back four. It's just a different rule.
In fact, Mo, I don't know if you watched the game against Barca, the preseason game. He actually played Rudiger on the left as a left back because of his ability to carry the ball. He actually played quite well there.
I think Bilal tapped this last time. He said that he thinks that Rudiger is gonna be the sub for Mendy at some point for that left back, because he's not as integrated in the back four, even as Nacho in the back four, because has been in the club forever. Alaba, of course, is the guy that held this position. He came in as a left back, Alaba, and then suddenly Alaba is one of their best center backs. And Militao, of course, is undroppable for them. So I'm not sure where Rudiger is going to fit there, but it looks like, as Grizz said, it's going to be a little bit of like, let's ease him into the squad.
David Alaba comes on, and Bilal, this guy, he's not spoken about enough.
Any of my favorites.
Maybe because of we're in this country, whatever, we don't hear about him. But maybe in Spain or in Europe they do. But this guy is so good. You cannot believe. Left back, central midfield, centre back. He comes in and he scores the perfect free kick. You know, one of those free kicks where just post, crossbar, stanchion, off the post, in. It's one of those that you worry about the goalkeeper injuring himself. Like he may crash into the post trying to save these kind of shots. I mean, what a player, what a guy, what a free signing.
Mm-hmm. He's unbelievable. David Alaba rather. This guy is one of the best players of the last decade. Seriously, any position, left back, centre mid, could play number 10. He's technically unbelievable, and we saw what he did. First touch of the game, free kick, top bins. What more can you ask for? And, you know, even in these atmospheres where you go play, you know, like these south of Spain teams like Almeria, the atmosphere is always popping. Like I remember Granada back in the day with El Arabi, and I was enjoying them days. And it's just that vibe. And then Alaba's just going there and just crashing it and giving it to Real Madrid, giving them the win. So for me, he's shown over the years what kind of player he is. Even when he makes a mistake, he bounces back straight away, man. He's just a top player, and any team would be lucky to have him. Even me as an Arsenal fan, I was there. I remember one time, because I remember someone sent me something saying, no, he's an Arsenal fan. I was like, okay, calm, let's get him in. I think we had like tea. I said, I don't care. Alaba has to come in. But yeah, he's just that guy, honestly.
They got him for free, man. A Champions League level, a Champions League winning. Here's the thing, too, right? He plays left back for Bayern. He played center back near the end. Plays in midfield for Austria. He slots into a back four in the middle for Real Madrid. The guy is absolute class. I think that's one of the best signings on a free, to immediately come in and make a Champions League winning level contribution. Because don't forget, too, him and Militao came in for Varane and Ramos. Those are huge shoes to fill. And to do it as well as you have.
That was the sort of why I think it's been underplayed. Because if we go back to last summer, before the season that's just gone, nobody was talking about Real Madrid. Ramos, Varane gone. Zidane left, but we didn't know Benzema was going to hit the heights he did. Vinicius, there was still doubts. So it was we looked at that Real Madrid team and thought they need to maybe improve further up the pitch. That signing was genius. As a Liverpool fan watching that Champions League final, the job he and Militao did at centre back, brilliant. Won them the game, set them the platform there. So it's smart, and it just shows that in football there's still a lot of space to make really, really smart.
There was no chance he was going for a club different than like Real Madrid, Barcelona, City, Liverpool. There is no chance he was gonna go to a club that doesn't play Champions League, that doesn't even challenge for Champions League. Like, let alone like play in Champions League. He wanted a club that will win the Champions League, and they just did it.
We actually, a bit of ITK info. We actually made him the best financial offer.
Really? I thought it was City.
No, it was us. And he said thank you and privilege and honor, but his mind was set for Real Madrid. This
is what I tell people, Grizz, right? Real Madrid and Barcelona. People were mocking Chelsea, and this is just kind of a subsection, right? People were mocking Chelsea this year because they lost out on so many players that went to Barcelona, and you don't have the pull. No one in world football has more pull than these two. There is not a single player on the planet, bar your homegrowns like your Trents, your Gerrards, your Tottis. These are like 1 in a million that would turn down any club on the planet for Barcelona, and then Real Madrid is even higher than that. That's like the
only in the last 20 years
for Barca, right? Yeah, maybe some more so, but Real Madrid, that's
Real
that's
Madrid
royalty
since the
right there.
2000, only the 2000, yes, the
I don't know,
era
man. I
with the
think Real Madrid
Galactic
have always
goals.
been
Since
the heritage
50s of
club.
being the club, like just because of their sustained success across Europe. I guess there was a period maybe in the 70s, 80s where they went quiet. It was sort of dominated by English football, whatever, Italian, German football. But before that, like if we go all the way back to like the Di Stefanos, the Puscases, those sort of players, they were the guys in the 50s, the 60s, and they were pulling in the results for Real Madrid. So for me, like Liège, like, biggest football club institution in the world.
Yeah, there's
Easy.
nobody bigger than them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I hear where
miles
Mo's
ahead,
coming
bro.
from, though. I hear where Mo's coming from. Like Italian football was a joke, like back in the day.
True.
So even that could definitely compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona them times. And also, I just want to mention one thing. Everyone's saying here, like, okay, a number 10. I need to reset. Listen, I'm saying Alaba is that good. He could definitely, if he can play number
has
8,
played
you
number
think he
10,
can't
by
play
the way.
number 10, just run around with his left foot.
He has
and
played
just-
number 10 as well.
He has
Exactly.
for Austria,
Yeah, guys.
We obviously, calma. We obviously speak about sort of Real Madrid, Barcelona, and look, I don't see another team getting into that picture. Obviously, we need to touch on maybe just a quick touch on Atletico Madrid. I don't see them, Mo. I don't see them challenging myself. You know, what did you make of
Morata finding his feet again?
Baller.
Again, another season
Jim, I don't care.
and another club, and he's
Mhm.
scoring goals. The guy never dies. He's always in the picture somehow.
He's
Never
a good
dies.
player, man.
He is.
I
he is.
hope. I mean, I don't hope I'm wrong because I'm not a massive Diego Simeone. I'm not a hater. I like him. I like his style and everything. But he's one of those guys where he's overstayed. I think he needs to, for me to be equally sorry for me to give him the respect that I want to give him in terms of higher than our rating. He needs to go to another club.
Nobody will pay him, Grizz.
Yeah, the
Nobody
money
can
he's
pay him
on.
the money,
Exactly.
But this is it. But Mo, are you just telling me that he's there for the money and just that for the money? That doesn't make sense, man. He needs to branch out. Footballing culture, footballing style, footballing
Lias,
philosophy.
correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he make 45 million a year?
Yes,
You are
mental.
correct. You are
This is
correct.
mental.
Ain't no one leaving that, and he's the face, he's the
This is
soul of the club, man.
crazy.
He's not
Bro,
leaving.
You guys don't remember where Atletico Madrid were when Simeone took over,
Exactly.
right? This guy took.
That's
them
why
from
the
pits.
respect. That's why the respect is mad. But what I mean is, if he wants to be compared, I don't think he wants to because he can't give a shit. But you know what I mean. If you want to start comparing him to the Peps and the Klopps and the
I think
Ancelottis,
yeah.
he needs to.
Are we gonna mention Joao Felix 3 assists at all?
Yeah, honestly, you see,
Go on.
in the second half, they went to like a kind of like a 3-4-3. Griezmann was kind of making like a 3-5-2 at times, and the front three, Griezmann, Morata, Felix. That is just absolutely, it was saucing. Man, I was enjoying it so much. For me, Joao Felix, of course, they're saying today, Man United. This is Spanish papers because in England they're saying Man United have denied doing this, but in Spain they're saying Man United put a 135 million euro bid in. And
I don't
for
believe
me,
The guy
yeah,
has no ambition of going to Man United in the current state.
No, but I don't believe United would bid 130 million anyways.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, no, it's not happening.
The
But
thing
exactly.
is Simeone the man Atletico fans want to manage that sort of talent? Because I've seen a lot of fans talk about we've got this amazing talent in Joao Felix, but he's managed by the wrong guy, Griezmann, Morata. Like, I know they won 3-0, whatever, but over the course of the season, are you getting the output that's expected of them?
He did. Won the league twice.
He went to 2 Champions League finals. He was on the verge of winning 2 Champions Leagues. I mean, I think, right, there's clubs that, and I don't want to offend Atletico Madrid here, right? But they're on a level where they could never have dreamed of being on. And it's almost all entirely down to him. Like what he's done for that city and for that club, I think, and whether this is right or wrong, because again, at the end of the day, the real question should be, could they progress even more without Simeone? Perhaps, right? They have a lot of money. They're
But this
very
is
well
this is
backed.
my point, Lias. I absolutely, before they started going big in the transfer market, for me, he was top 3 coaches in world football because of the very fact that you said the way he dragged them from nowhere, 2 league titles against 2 institutions, Champions League finals, unlucky in one of them, should have won, 100% should have one of them. But since he's had money to spend, this is where the criticism is coming through.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree? Like, he spent a lot of money on a lot of players, and it kind of dropped off since he spent the money. What does that mean? I don't know.
Listen, to be honest,
the league a year and a half ago? Didn't he win the league 2 years ago?
He did. No, but I understand what Grizz is saying, right? Like, we're talking about the highest paid manager in the world. I don't know if he's still highest over Pep, but he's up there, 1 or 2. He has a very expensive squad. He has one of the best young talents on the planet. Could he be doing more? I agree with Grizz. I don't think, for me, Simeone is not on Pep's level. He's not on Klopp's level.
Considering
Champions League, disappointed.
Different club, I think it would be even more evident. Yeah.
But guys, considering we all to a man have said Barcelona is going through a turbulent time last 3-4 years, a total evolution of the club, surely Atletico should have been better and higher, right?
People talk about like the job he's done, but I agree. Like in the early years, whatever that sort of historic team he built in like the early to mid 2010s, but they've given him a checkbook to spend from. Like,
that's what I mean.
There's no doubt about that. I remember, was it last season, the amount of people they brought in? Like they had a squad list, and I was looking at their bench, and I was like, wow, they've got ridiculous depth. So. Maybe look, it's hard because they are Atletico. You're up against Barça and Real Madrid, right? And they won the league. They won the league 2 years ago.
Insane achievement. I get that.
Insane.
I agree. Yeah, insane. Listen, we gotta move on to what have you done here? Atletico. Yeah,
no, I just wanted to show you guys a live if you just want to see what was happening.
No, it's impressive.
Witzel, look at the team. It's not that
Witzel
great. It's there. Even when Arsenal signed Partey, they went and signed Kondogbia. Like, the levels are dropping off in a lot of ways, and it is even though they spent a lot of money on paper, the squad sometimes it's just not.
Let's move on. We're running out of time very, very quickly. We've got Bundesliga and PSG to speak about. Bundesliga, again, very much like no one really. I guess I think Bundesliga is a foregone conclusion. I know maybe 1 or 2. Maybe you want to speak about Dortmund. But we'll start off with Dortmund or Bayern.
We'll start with Bayern.
Routine for me. One of the best players in Europe, form-wise, ability-wise, talent-wise. Jamal Musiala is absolute magic right now. Obviously, Thomas Muller, the total opposite in terms of age, efficiency, professionalism, personified. Thomas Muller, one of the most underrated. Feel free to whoever wants to jump in on Bayern. And this season, it's a walk in right in the park.
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I can jump in.
One thing. How are we talking about this team? They don't have Goretzka's injured. They didn't play Sane. They play Hernandez, the brother, in the center of the defense, and they're still playing very, very good football. All these players are healthy. What is going to happen to this club? To be honest, Coleman is injured as well. So you can imagine the bench when these guys come back. I think this is the year, right?
I don't. Okay, when you say this is the year, you mean Champions League? We discussed it, didn't we?
Final. They go to the Champions League final.
I've got my doubts about that. Go on, Bilal, you was going to say something.
Yeah, no, Bayern look really, really good in this game, and people talk about the high lines of the Bundesliga and every team just trying to play the same way. But Wolfsburg, for the most part, they were trying to keep it tight. It was only 2-0 in the end. They were trying to be as compact as possible. But what Nagelsmann did with Pavard. Now, and I feel the Pavard thing's really interesting because he was talking in the off-season about how he doesn't know what his future is actually going to hold. And then him now with Alphonso Davies, who is an absolute monster. He's coming inside. He's playing like an extra centre mid, same with Pavard. But at the same time, because it's Alphonso Davies, he's giving you that option out wide. It's incredible. Musiala's on the left 1 second. He's the second striker in the next. He's in the box and next second. Like, it's such a free-flowing system at this moment in time. I think Bayern are definitely enjoying an evolution after Lewandowski. Yeah. I think that's the main thing about this. Yeah.
I just want to say this, right? And this isn't a knock on Love. And it isn't to say this guy is one of the elite coaches. I think Nagelsmann is a genius. I really do. I think he's actually so smart. And he's a flawed coach. I think he's a genius to a flaw, a bit like Bielsa was in that sometimes his football is so suicidal. But honestly, some of the footballing ideas that this guy has and some of the formations he sets his teams up in, I truly think he's a genius. And I actually think for how young he is, we're going to be looking at this guy in a few years as the standard once Pep and Klopp kind of their stock hopefully starts to diminish. They've been at the top for so long. But look, Lewandowski is an absolutely brilliant striker, but when Nagelsmann said this summer that I think he actually probably made us a bit predictable, I don't think he was lying. I don't think he was just saying that for the sake of saying it. I truly believe that Bayern are a lot harder to defend this year without him, even though they don't have a guy who's scoring 50 goals a season.
He's a mad. I agree with Liaz. He is a madman. I just think when it gets to those latter stages of the Champions League, that's when I think you might see the real big hitters like City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG maybe come out on top. It's not. I completely agree. He's what? He's early 30s, right?
Yeah, he's got to be like mid 30s or something.
That's crazy. He's probably younger than a few of his players, right? I just think they will steamroll Bundesliga. And I'll be interested to see how Goretzka comes back, because that season they won the Champions League. I know he was. I just think that pivot with him and Kimmich really worked before there was the injury and Thiago came into the team. People forget that Thiago was out of the team until that sort of latter run-in.
I'll tell you where their biggest weakness is. It's number 2. It's Upamecano. For me, that's the red flag.
Yeah.
Bayern.
And
Bilal,
player,
can Dortmund do anything to them, Bilal? Can Dortmund do anything?
Dortmund, no. And we'll get into why Dortmund can't. We can move to Dortmund straight away, like, honestly, because Dortmund, for the most part, they won their game. They won it 3-1. Let me just get it up.
Dortmund for me. Look, I've been reading so many people speak so highly of Dortmund and their signings and I'm adamant, and I remain adamant that Dortmund are, for me, the most overhyped team of the last 3-4 years. Just people speak about their talent recruitment and some of their players, and they just, for me, nothing.
Dortmund are a money laundering system, bro. Honestly, I think it's criminal how people have just accepted that these guys are happy to just buy the Europe's best young talents, sell them off in 2 years, and have no interest in competing. Like, that for me is criminal, but that's just me, man.
Can we talk about? I know Bilal, you watched the game, right?
Yeah, I watched the whole
game. Can we talk
about?
Is it Mokoko?
Mokoko.
He's 17.
17.
What? I know he scored. What is the sort of ceiling on this guy? Because look at him. He's 17. Well, he's an absolute specimen.
So they brought on 3 players. So this Bino Gittins that we can see here, he came on off the bench. Freiburg, for the most part, they were very compact. They were playing like like David Moyes' Everton back in the day, like very tough to break down, and they were constantly having plays that would be direct, but they'd get in the box, they'd win their headers, very physical. And for like 70 minutes of the game, literally nothing happened. But Bino Gittins came on and he was running around. His energy was really, really good. He had a shot from far, and the goalkeeper, I don't know if you guys saw the Timo Werner goal, with the goalkeeper just lets it in. Same thing. This one was even worse. I don't know what's going on in the Bundesliga with the goalkeepers, but this was worse. But that made it 1-1. The momentum changed. And then from there, the 3 subs all got goals. Marius Wolf also came on for Thomas Munia. And I saw today Munia's linked to Man United. I'm thinking, Man United, you go for Munia, you have a worse right back than you currently have. That guy was awful, getting exposed every 2 seconds. Marius Wolf came on, and he is a player to watch out for. A lot of energy, very direct, very physical. Every shot that he does, every cross that he does is come with so much power. It's very interesting to watch. And then Mukoku, now going to Omar's question. Yeah, the ceiling for this kid is top. 17 years old, his intelligence, his movement, he is very, very difficult to play with. And if you go to the Dortmund lineup, of course, Haller got that, he's had his cancer, I think it was cancer diagnosis. He's going through treatment. So Modeste has come in. Modeste, for the most part, he's 34 years old, not offering much. Marlon, Royce, Hazard, to be honest, the whole attack really not offering much. But when Mukoku came on and Bino Gittins, the energy, the movement, everything changed for Dortmund. So in that sense, Dortmund have a lot of players that maybe could do something in a few years. And that's a problem with Dortmund, because in a few years, when these guys get really, really good, they're going to end up being sold off. But Schlotterbeck is looking good. Guerrero's decent. Kobel as well. Give him a shout out. He is looking like a really good goalkeeper.
I think Bilal was hyped him way over much. I don't rate none of those players. I'm not going to lie.
He's in love with them.
Yeah. None of those players
is good. Schlotterbeck, I agree with Bilal.
I'm talking about the youngsters. I'm talking about the Bino Gittins.
Makoku, keep an eye on Liverpool and Makoku. I know everyone knows about Bellingham and Liverpool, but we love Makoku so much. We love Makoku so much, and that's one to keep an eye on in future years. Modeste, Marlon, people were crying out for Marlon to come to Liverpool, and I was like, I don't know why you guys want Marlon so much.
No, terrible.
He hasn't been a massive success there. Dahoud was such a sought-after player a few years ago. Again, form dipped. Meunier, I actually like Meunier, Thomas Meunier. I actually think he's decent, and Hummels people know that he can't run anymore, man. And you're expecting this team to compete with Bayern in this league? Now, let's wrap this up, man. This session. Honestly, I don't rate Dortmund at all. I don't don't know why.
For me, are Dortmund even the second best team in the Bundesliga this year? I think
it's probably Leipzig, but they did drop points to Koln, so it was 2-2.
Exactly, but this is my point. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Even they dropped points, but listen, guys, we gotta wrap up with La Liga. And not only La Liga, I mean, there's not much to talk about in terms of anyone competing with PSG. But obviously, when you talk about PSG, we have to talk about the circus that is PSG, right?
100%.
I mean, take it away. I mean, who wants to speak on this, man? First and foremost, every single one of us saw this coming. As soon as you make one of the star players part fucking owner of the club, you're asking for trouble, right? Now, even though they changed the sporting director and brought in a more hardline coach, it's a tough ask for him, guys. What happens, man? What do you do with this? I'm not even interested in this, Bilal. I'm just interested in the drama. Like, they're going to win every week. Who gives a shit about their scoreline and their scorers? But talk to me, guys. What do you make of the circus that is PSG and Mbappe and Neymar?
Mbappe's a disgrace. I think he's an absolute disgrace. We've probably seen in Messi, Neymar, and Suarez the greatest, for me, the greatest front three you'll see in football, right? I think what they did was absolutely ridiculous. This front three has potential to be up there. I won't say it'll be the best. I think you had those three players in their prime, but you've got Messi and Neymar, two are, for me, the best player of all time and a future Hall of Famer. And you have Mbappe, unbelievable talent, right? But I don't know where this ego. I do know where the egos come from, right? But it's pathetic. You need to have an element of respect for your teammates, for the likes of Messi, for the likes of Neymar. The only way you're going to succeed in the latter stage of the Champions League is if you get on. If they don't get on, it's going to be the same old story at PSG. And the funny thing is, I think this system, this 3-4-3, is set up perfectly for them to explode this season. It's just the problem is, because before this game, the last couple games, it was Messi and Neymar, no Mbappe. That team with Sarabia up front, okay, Sarabia, whatever. But that the harmony in that team, you could see the likes of Messi and Neymar, they were enjoying their football, right? They're still enjoying it, but they now have this extra factor of Mbappe that's just really toxic to them. And I think Mbappe, he's going to be a future Ballon d'Or winner. He's going to be up there as one of the greatest forwards of all time, no doubt. But you need harmony in that team. And if that doesn't come, then there's going to be serious problems again for them in the Champions League.
Mo?
He isn't winning the Ballon d'Or unless France win the World Cup and he wins champion. The problem is, this guy, I'm like, okay, I love Mbappe as a player, but the scenes I've seen is like, you really went after the money and after the power. You did not go for the career. I know that he's young. He wanted to flourish at PSG, but he knew he couldn't have done this in Real Madrid. He couldn't have done this at City, whatever the clubs that were after him. I know that PSG is a big club nowadays, and PSG has a massive, massive fan base, right? But the problem is when you bring all these superstars and one of them start treating the club as his own, now we're like, I lost all the respect, to be honest. Like, there is not only about the penalty. The guy literally, when they don't pass him the ball, and that scene was on Twitter everywhere, he just walked away. He stopped playing because they didn't pass him the ball. It's a disgrace. I'm sorry. I echo what Omar said. It's a disgrace to football that someone with this talent will have this mentality and this attitude on the pitch.
Liaz, are you gonna anything for the devil's advocate here, or
People always ask me, are you a PSG fan? You have the PSG AVI. You watch every PSG game. You have PSG kits. I'm not a PSG fan. I'm a PSG enthusiast, right?
Okay.
That's who my French family support. Well, them and Saint-Etienne. But regardless, I have a soft spot for PSG. I watch them as often as I can. Mbappe, for me, after Benzema, is the best player on the planet. I truly believe so. I think he's so good. Last year for PSG, he carried them. And you might ask, what did he carry them to? Because they won the league. They didn't do anything else. PSG were so poor last year, and it was only because of Mbappe that they won the league and that they even came close to Real Madrid. He put them within touching distance of Real Madrid last year. He's unbelievable. But this year, PSG are building something. Leonardo is gone and Campos is in, and he's really built a strong squad. And they're not done yet. They're going to keep adding. But the likes of Sanchez, the guy from Napoli,
Vitinha Ruiz.
I know Vitinha as well, but they're buying Fabian Ruiz. That's who they're also bringing in. Those are three midfielders that I think that's the kind of signings PSG has to be making, because he's looked at their squad and he's identified their weaknesses, and this directly impacts them and benefits them rather than going and signing a Ronaldo at 37 years old. A Mukiele, they play a back three. He's one of the best right-sided defenders on the planet, in my opinion. They're really building a great squad. Christophe Galtier, I'm really impressed with him as a manager in general. His resume in Liga speaks for itself. I think this three in the back has been screaming at PSG in the face. Play us, play us, play us. All your players fit the best in a 3-4-3. No doubt about it. And you just think to yourself, Neymar and Messi are back to playing at their best. PSG are flying. Everything seems great. PSG finally seems compact and functional for once in the last, I can't even remember the last time they looked dysfunctional. And Mbappe is coming out. And again, I have Mbappe is brilliant. But you're talking to Neymar right now. This isn't to Sarabia. This isn't to Icardi. This is to one of the greatest players of his generation. And for what? Because he took the second penalty, one you didn't make yourself. Mbappe had a clause put in his contract, I believe, or whether it was verbal or written on paper. I take all the free kicks. I take all the penalties. I look at Leo Messi, who for me is the best player of all time. And he's just kind of there playing his own game. He's just there trying to win games. He's a better free kick taker than Mbappe. Okay, Neymar, you take it. Mbappe, you take it. We move. This is the greatest player of all time. If anyone should have an ego on PSG, it should be him. Mbappe, you're brilliant, man. But PSG have an opportunity to do something really special this year. I truly believe that they can win the Champions League with this team. But it will never, ever happen if he isn't able to put his ego and his personal desires below what the actual benefit of the team is. Getting Neymar and Messi at their best is more important than Mbappe scoring 60 goals, winning the Ballon d'Or, but going out in the first round of the Champions League.
Do you know what's frustrating? If he sucks it up and accepts that he does have Messi and Neymar by his side, it's only going to make him better. It's only going to make him better by having Neymar looking electric this season. Messi back to his best, running games. It's only going to make you better. You're going to score more goals. You'll get more spotlight. You go further in the Champions League. So suck it up and understand your place in that team. It's not your team.
It's not his place, Omer. He is their best player. Come on, just give me. But also, you are in the presence, as Leah said, of two of the best players that we have witnessed in the last 20 years. You can't just treat them as you're like, oh my God, I'm right here. You guys have to listen to me. He is their better player. Look, there's no question. He's their best player. I know that Messi and Neymar, but Mbappe is the difference maker. Yeah. If you're going to choose one of the three, you'll choose Mbappe.
I agree.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to say as well.
If he works with the team, it's a caveat.
He owns the team. I was going to say, I understood why Mbappe wanted Neymar out in the summer. I really did, because Mbappe, at the end of the day, is not a central forward. We're going to talk about this front three and how fluid it is, but he is not a focal point up front. His best work comes off the left. And I understand why he thought, based on the way Neymar has played the last 2 seasons, he hasn't played much because of his injuries. And even when he hasn't looked the same. Why he would perhaps believe for the best of the team, it'd be better to take Neymar out, put Mbappe on the left, and buy a focal point. And that's why you saw them linked to Scamacca, for example, for so long in the summer. But the fact is, the move didn't happen. Neymar is staying at PSG, and Neymar started the season brilliantly. Move on, man. The benefit of the team should always come above the individual, but that's the problem with PSG. It never does. Even when I describe all these scenarios, this looks so good for PSG. Don't ruin it, man.
The lineup, if we get very quickly before we wrap up, that lineup again, Bilal. This lineup, if we talking, forget, as I said, forget the French league. if we're looking Champions League, and we've just discussed Madrid, we've discussed Bayern's chances, and obviously we know the English clubs. Lias, this is their best chance. Again, are we saying this again this year? This is their best chance. Well, I know we say it for the last 2-3 seasons, but this really is their best chance.
The Champions League is impossible to predict. Real Madrid showed it last year. But look, if PSG are ever going to win the Champions League, it's with these three at their disposal. And like I said, everything has fallen into place with them. Everything seems perfect. Look at their team. I don't see a weakness this year in their team like I did last year or the year before. I did see weaknesses last year. I don't see them this year. They have to go for it this year, man.
Well, only time will tell. Hopefully, further implosions in the team will hamper them, and they won't, because I would never like to see PSG win the Champions League.
I think
go on.
You predicted them in the final last week. I said PSG in the final for the Champions League. I've got them there. And one thing on PSG, I just want to say, when I was in Morocco, every 2 shirts for PSG. I didn't realize they had such a massive Hakimi factor.
Yeah, the Moroccan people love.
Of course, man. I
saw PSG the most. Then I was counting like what team everyone's wearing. I think I saw. Then it was just a mix of Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. Then I saw a little bit of Man United. Really Barcelona, Real Madrid. These are the only teams I saw there.
I know that you have to.
No, bro. Where I was there, not even, bro. I'm telling you, I was counting every shirt. I saw Liverpool, Arsenal, but yeah, PSG though, 99%. Like honestly,
It's gonna be that.
PSG everywhere. Yeah,
it's gonna be that. Conroy's in the building. He says, "Smash the like, folks, and do what he says." People, this has been a tremendous. I really enjoyed it. Game week 2 for us. It may not be game week 2 everywhere else in the leagues, but game week 2 for us has gone down a treat. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. So this week, of course, I told you we're going to get more and more organized. This week, I've got everyone's channels that they rep in the description. Make sure you go and follow Moles, part of Never a Foul. Make sure you check out Lias' stuff. All the stuff's in the description. So go and check these guys out, doing great work all over social media. Great insight, great people first and foremost. I like great people. That's what I like personally. And then when great people talk great football, wow, I love it. That's when you get shows like this and content like this. So I really appreciate you brothers' time, of course, always. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming on again. Hope to chat to you for many weeks to come. And of course, Bilal and Omar, Young Bucks in the building, doing a great job. Thank you very much as well. Guys, we will be back next week. When does Champions League start? We've got a few weeks for Champions League, but we've got another round of Europe.
The draw is in this Friday, the Friday after, right? The 26th?
Exactly. So it's coming. People, thank you very much for the kind comments. Yeah, go on.
Did you touch on this? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Michael sent a super chat in. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much, Bilal. He says not top of the top 5 leagues, but Bodo Glimt from Norway maybe will qualify for the UCL group stage, where 5 years ago in the Norwegian second edition. Yeah. What a story, man! This is a massive story.
Last year, no?
Yeah, last week. Last week I was talking about Solbakken that was playing at Bodo Glimt last season, and he was cooking Roma and Celtic. He looked, so that's a great shout there for them. We'll see what they do this year.
These guys, they win every game like 5-0. It's hilarious. Like,
it's one of the stories of Europe, man. That's a mad story, man. People go and check out the story of Bodo Glimt. Is literally, Michael's right. 5 years ago, Norwegian second division, and they're doing great stuff. It just shows you, not everyone can fuck up their club like Man United. Everyone can be a Bodo Glimt. You know what I mean? Let's sort this out, people. This has been Eurostars Game Week 2. We check you out. Everyone, take care.